Okay, so remember the last video I did say that I was going to try and get some photos on the way home. So I've gone on holidays, I've come back, and now I've got these photos, which, have a look at this guy. I mean, have a look at some of these. That's pretty much exactly the same sort of landscape we were looking for. There I've got the rocks, I've got shadows, I've got little bits of spin effects. So if I take that down to this photo here, you can see that I've sort of got that kind of vibe happening with this painting. So I've got the rocks, I've got the spin effects, I've got more of a sandy sort of, more of a dusty sandy soil, but it still does, you know, do justice with that red if we come back over here. So that's my little reference photo. And now these are the trees that I'm going to try and get. So let's see if I can somehow bring those couple of trees and put them into this particular landscape. Okay, so I'm back home. So now I've got raw umber. Doesn't look like that's, and again, it's just a cheap brand that I'm using. But having said that, it does look like it's separated a tad. But I'm just going to get this now and have a go at these trees. So I'm going to over accentuate it a little, bring it out to there. Just going to use the end of this. Looks like a probably, I don't know, 15mm brush. And that should just about do us for that tree trunk there. I might put another two each side. Like I said, I like to do things look alright with the other one there in the foreground, in the background, but what I want to do is, like I said, do things in threes and things then to work out a little better. It looks a little bit better to the eye. Bring that down there. Alright, that's looking alright. Bit of a waste of paint, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. Right, now I've finally found my olive green. Look at that, beautiful. The Italia brand. Well, not a bad brand. They're an interactive, so once they're painted, they can actually use, you can use some sort of formula, and apparently it'll bring it back out to being soft and pliable again. But I don't bother with all that sort of technology. I just paint with them. Okay, now I've got everything in the way here. So what I'm going to do, what have I got? I'm going to get it. I'm thinking of a fan brush. I'll just try a fan brush. Try and get that design I'm after. Alright, I've got a couple of brushes here. I'm not the one I'm after. It's a little too soft on the bristle. I think this is a watercolor brush. But anyway, I'm trying to get, you know, some sort of dabbing process. There's my fan brush that I was talking about. So I might stick to the fan brush. I want to keep the brush dry while I'm doing this, and I'll just start to pat around. Let's see, good. Let's see, hey? I'll just do it. See how I go here. I'm just going a straight olive green here. I'm going to worry about putting all my little branches and limbs after I've got all my gorgeous little leaves in here. Like I said, these are awesome little trees. I love them. They just spring up out of anywhere. They grow on absolutely no water at all. They just tend to survive. They're real little survivors. So I'm just going to take that up to there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Let's see if I can get a little more on each corner here and just get a little bit more foliage happening here. I want everything to be fairly jagged. I might have a little too much going on there, but that's okay. Alright. See how we go with that. It's pretty cute. Just bring him out a little bit more there. Okay. Righto, we've got a little tree in the middle. I'll brush a bit of a clean off. Now there's darks. By looking at the little reference photo I've got there, I'm going to need to run some little sticks, some dead little sticks off the side, and run some more probably a little bit of white in there as well. I'm going to try that. Hang on. Now, I haven't got the best quality white for this. Like I said, it's just a little painting. So I'm not too worried. Now I'm not going to worry about, I don't know if you can see that. Now I'll just bring that in a little bit more so you can see that painting. Right. I'm going to mix a little bit of that in there. See if I can get a little bit more. Just something to grab the light. Yes, that's working. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more. Just sort of move the fan brush around, just so it grabs a few of these little highlights. Move the top there. It'll be fair, like anything in nature, you want it to be fairly random. And I don't want that to happen. It's okay. Don't want to build it out too much at the top. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm just going to give a little bit more detail out here. A little bit more on the top there. There you go. That's starting to look good. All right, I'm just going to wash that out. All right, now I would like to use if it was a bigger painting, not such a little demonstration, I'm just going to grab a bit of that black there as well. And now if it was a bigger painting, I would possibly use this as a spatula. So I'd probably get, where is it even? Let's say even something like that. Grab an edge. I could try it. Let's see, hopefully I don't. No, I want to be able to control these branches. That's where I'm going with this, and I want a thin line, but I don't want it to be, no, it's going to be too blobby. Just can't trust it for the sake of it. But if it's a bit, I'll give it a go anyway. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of working. If you see that, I'm just using this plastic spatula here, and I don't want to make it blobby, but I want it to be able to transfer onto the page as well, so onto the paper. So this is working actually. Thank goodness. Black. Push that up into there. A few strands. A couple of things happening here. Alright, I don't think I'll push my luck there. So I'm just going to wash that off. Just grab some of those. Always make sure you clean these utensils down, otherwise they will get on there and get real crusty when you want to use them again. So just give that. Most of it's just mixing paint, but I like using them, as you've just seen, for little branches. They make for a good random branch or random line that you want to use. So I will go back to my round or my pointed fine detail brush. And I always like to, as you can see there, I'm just practicing. I want to get that nice and wet, grab a bit more of that black in with that raw umber. And I am going to be shaky, but that's okay because these are quite shaky little sticks. And they just go everywhere. seem to have some little broken branches there coming off there. If I don't like it, I can always, and by the way, check this out, I can, if I don't like that line, I can put a little sponge off the screen there, but if I don't like it, I can always come off and kind of get rid of it. See that that'll dry now and will thin those lines down, and it's kind of like rubbing out. And just don't play with it too much, but oops, that will sort of thin out those lines. You can have a couple of little branches coming off here and there. Right. Oh, and then look at that, and then you go and grab a heap of white. So I'll just clean my brush out. Good clean out. Use my trusty sponge off on hand there. Right. What I'm doing to pick these, I'm going to use a bit of that white too, by the way, in on these branches. But I'm just going to come in nice and close here. Just start trailing. The reason why I'm getting that as wet as I can is that's going to mark and come off my brush a lot easier. And they're just absolutely random little branches, and they just tend to come out everywhere. And like I said, they just start to put a bit of shadow in some of these areas. Now, as I said, I am going to grab, I wonder if I can get it. Bit more of that happening in over here. Sort of whispering, but anyway, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that. It's going to be lazy here, I can't be bothered getting the fan brush out, so hopefully got the kids having a great old time there. It's getting close to Christmas here, so we put the Christmas tree up today, and that looks fantastic, and the kids are all excited. Okay, just give myself a couple more little peaks up here. Little bit more white. Let's see if I add a little bit more white in there. It's going to look out of place. I don't think so. Because, as I said, and I'll say it again, no doubt 1,000 times during this painting and other paintings I do, remember acrylic paint will dull down once it's drying. So it's not as vibrant as oil, but you can do that by putting your varnishes and other things like that on top. I'm just going to a bit more random colour through here. And if you think don't worry if you've gone too much, you're not going to wreck it, because you can always go back over and add a darker colour if you feel like you've put too much white or anything like that through. And it is just a bit more light capturing. I might just grab a little bit more of that straight green there. Just dab that in. Probably in the wrong spot. In over here would be better. Just grabbing some more of that, just to show a little bit more foliage. Look at that little tree, isn't it coming on? Now I'm going to get some white, like I promised earlier, and start to put that into the branch or the trunk of the tree. Again, don't really want to do this with a brush. I prefer to do this with just with a spatula. This will just add, believe it or not, a little bit more interest to that branch. Oh, fantastic, look at that. That's really caught that. Excellent. Oh, I'm happy, happy, happy. Alright. As you can see, we've got now a gorgeous little, I think, jiggly tree or giggly tree. Giggly tree, I'm not 100% sure. I am quite happy to be a little bit to be corrected. You know what, I'm gonna keep going until I overwork this, and then I'm gonna go, oh no, I've overworked the leaves. But I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. Hello, my little elf. Alright, like I said, I'm not going to overwork that. I'm just going to keep that the way it is. But as you can see, I'm just patting around with the finer end of that brush. That is my detail brush. I would, like if I was doing lion or something like that, or a tiger with big whiskers, perfect brush for that. A little bit thicker, and then you just roll it and bring it out. So just roll it and just roll that brush. See that? That's like a whisker. You probably can't see it with that colour. Anyway, I'm getting invaded by children. Hey? Yeah, I'm recording. That's all right, mate. Okay. Right, that looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. I'm not going to muck around with it too much more. I could play around with it, but if I do, I'm going to possibly regret it. I'd like to put another couple there, but for the sake of this painting and the exercise, I think we're there. So now, let's push that aside. That aside. Let's see what's on top. These two tapes are on top. Let's see how we go. Pulling this off. First one, so all right. That must be over the top of that one. So I'll pull this bottom one off. All right, this is happening live. So let's see. Oil's ready. All right, no worries. Cooking tea at the moment during this painting. So, look at that, turning out to a nice little Australian bush postcard. And hopefully I am recording this. Oh yeah, we're still recording, excellent. It's usually something I'll do. Spent hours and hours painting and talking about the painting I'm doing, and then, oh, it's going to try and rip on me in that corner. There you go. So if you decide you want this painting, you'll know that it's authentic by that little tear at the top right hand corner. There you go, and that does happen with paper, unfortunately. There we go. Look at that, isn't that fantastic? Little Australian bush scene. Pretty happy with that. Alright, I'll bring it in a little bit more so you can see it. And of course I will sign it. And I will fix up that bit of blue sky, or I'll possibly just leave that. But there we are. There we have it. A little jiggly tree in the Australian Outback. Yeah, put the chips in. And I will sign this. Normally I'd like to paint it, but the painting's so small it wouldn't see the signature. That should. There you go. So nice little chickly tree in the outback of Australia. See these little guys growing all over the place. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you later.